If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. I've touched on this before in other videos, and now I'm going to explain why you always hear and see references to 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, you might not realize that you're seeing these references, but as I show you the repetition and you start understanding why 3 o'clock in the morning is used in song lyrics, song titles, as well as many other things on YouTube and in the mainstream media, you'll start to understand why they're indoctrinating you with 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, some of you might wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning often. People message me that all the time. That is because you're under spiritual attack. If you aren't aware, it is believed that Jesus died at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, all of us are aware, or should be, who listen to this channel, the significance of the number 33, right? Jesus died at 33. 1/3 of the fallen angels here on earth, 33. 33rd degree Freemasonry is based off of those numbers. It is to mock Jesus dying at 3 p.m. What they do is they flip things. 3 o'clock in the morning is known as Satan's hour. This is when the occult practices and performs these rituals. They will stay up into the midnight hours, and trust me, you can read about this, you can interview yourself and speak with ex-occultists who have actually come forward and talk about these things, who are lucky to be alive and not be killed at this point, and they all tell you the same thing. If the ritual involves, most of the time it will involve children, or an abortion blood sacrifice ritual, they will wait to perform the ritual until 3 o'clock in the morning. It is believed that at this time, this is when most paranormal-like activity happens. A lot of Christians are noted to wake up around this time because they're under spiritual attack. That is because Satanists are performing and witches are performing these rituals at 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, if you search on YouTube 3 a.m., and I've covered this clown before, this guy who's, I want to say this poor guy, but this guy's doing nothing but indoctrinate people with these rituals. All of his videos, he's all tattooed up with it, and he claims he's not a devil worshiper because, like I said, they claim to believe in God, not the devil, because they believe that Lucifer is God. So they're not going to come out and say, well, I worship the devil, because they believe, and this is what Masons are taught as well, that Lucifer is God. You'll see that this channel has over 2 million subscribers, which is insane. And this guy is clearly on massive amounts of drugs, under massive amounts of, demonic possession. There's no doubt about it. I mean, even if you're not a believer in the stuff I say on this channel, all you got to do is watch this guy. This guy is sick in the head. And if you Google 3 a.m., you'll see all of this stuff about paranormal activity, right? Or YouTube it, I should say, at 3 o'clock in the morning, right? 3 a.m. Ouija board challenge, 3 a.m. Jesus phone call, all of this stuff about 3 a.m. and the occult. This is an indoctrination that's been going on for quite some time. And you'll also note, well, I'll play this video, how this guy is doing, he has this video, which I've already covered before. I'm going to show a clip, which I didn't show last time, about how at 3 o'clock in the morning, he sells his soul because he follows the teachings of Aleister Crowley. He even promotes Aleister Crowley's book, talks about how it's filled with black magic and Egyptian worship and all that nonsense. Of course, doesn't cover the pedophilia aspect of it or the blood rituals that Aleister Crowley talks about, because none of these guys will talk about that. They just go, oh, that's not in the book, because they don't expect you to pick up the book and read it. And even if you do, just like picking up a Talmud and reading it, people will just say you're crazy because they don't want to hear it. Okay? But he has video after video about 3 a.m. And this one, he talks about how to actually sell your soul for fame and fortune at 3 o'clock in the morning, and goes through the book of Aleister Crowley.
I got the real deal how to do it, and it's all in this book right here, guys. It's called Gems from the Equinox by Aleister Crowley, guys. This is like the book, all right, guys? Like, I really had to order this book and read it. Like, look how thick this is. It could be like Harry Potter Part 5, how thick this thing is. So in this book, you can tell right away it's real just because of the Egyptian stuff all over the place, guys. But basically, this book has a lot of things to do with selling your soul, guys. Also, it has a lot to do with black magic and all that kind of stuff, guys. So right there, it says Baphomet. Okay, guys, Baphomet is the devil. All right, if you didn't know, what I'm trying to tell you is we got the real deal. All right, we got the real info on how to do this, guys. If you're looking to sell your soul for fame and money and stuff like that, you came to the right place. All right, drop a like. But before we start this, guys, I just want to let you know that in no way am I condoning people to do this. Like, do not do this. I don't know if it works, guys. I don't know if it works. I've been sort of like the test dummy for like demonic rituals on my channel for a while now. So if anybody's gonna understand, it's gonna be you guys. All right, so please don't hate on the video, guys. It's just for entertainment purposes only. All right, guys, so let's do this. Another thing, I believe in God. All right, I don't believe in Satan. I don't worship Satan. All right, no matter what kind of tattoos I got. For real, I believe in God. All right, so I don't want to hear all this devil worshiping stuff, guys. It's just a video, man. I'm just trying it out, bro. Let's see if it works, dude. Like, literally, I want to be a YouTuber more than anything. Why not sell my soul? Why not? Like, that's what I want to do. If I can't do this, I just want to die, okay? Like, literally, I want to do this more than anything. All right, so let's just keep that understood. All right, and if it don't work, look, I'm still trying YouTube anyways. All right, let's keep it moving. So like I said, guys, this video took 3 days in the making, guys. Like 3 days of solid preparation. Let me show you why. See my bedroom window right here, guys? Let's open these blinds. All right, what do we got here, guys? What do we got here? So as you guys see, my window is completely blocked out from the sun, guys, and this is for a definite reason. That's black Bristol board, guys. No sun comes through that at all. This comes straight from the book, guys. It says that in order to perform this ritual to make a pact with the devil and sell your soul, you need to have a room that has not touched sunlight in 3 solid days. No sun at all has touched my room in 3 solid days, guys. I blocked out the window for 3 days, guys. Now you understand why I spent 3 days preparing for this video. I want to give it a legitimate try, guys. Another thing was, guys, you need to have this special kind of paper right here, all right? Now, it's really hard to see on the camera, but you see how it's like textured and stuff like that? You need this special kind of paper, guys. I'm not really sure. I threw out the wrapper like 3 days ago. This piece of paper as well has to have no sunlight touch it for 3 solid days.
Now, let's talk about repetition and let's talk about mind control and how it works, right? I've done videos talking about magic and how there's so many songs called magic, so many songs. Right? Albums, Bruce Springsteen, Magic, Magic Carpet Ride, Do You Believe in Magic? Right? Reverencing magic, but it goes right over everybody's head because they're not trained to think like that. It's just getting filtered into their mind and it's getting deposited in there because they're indoctrinating you with this stuff. The same can be said for 3 o'clock in the morning. There are many, many musicians who have songs called 3 a.m. or albums called 3 a.m. Simon and Garfunkel's first album was entitled Wednesday Morning, 3 a.m. And of course, you know about Eminem and 3 a.m., right? He has the song 3 a.m. Matchbox 20, 3 a.m. All you have to do is scroll through and you'll see all of these songs about 3 o'clock in the morning, right? And the amount of views that they have. They're all very popular songs. I don't even know who half these people are. 3 a.m., 2 million views. Finding Hope, 3 a.m., 14 million views. NF, 3 a.m., 8 million views. Finding Hope, again, 3 a.m. Mr. Suicide Sheep, 4 million. Eminem, Megan Trainor, 3 a.m., couple million views. Jesse and Joy, 3 a.m. Okay? This isn't because all of these people just happen to love 3 o'clock in the morning, right? I mean, I don't hear any songs about, 4:17 p.m., 9:28 p.m. a.m., right? Why do you think they're constantly talking about 3 a.m.? You think that all these songs which are referencing, they just happen to wake up at 3 a.m., right? The song's not about, hey, it's 2:20 in the morning and I'm thinking about you and I'm in love with you, right? Because they try to take the song about 3 a.m. and they'll talk about love and, I'm up at 3 a.m. and I'm thinking about you and I love you and, it's 3 a.m. and I can't sleep and, it's 3 a.m. and these thoughts are going through my mind. They're indoctrinating people with 3 a.m. because when all this stuff goes down, remember, and it is already going down, the massive indoctrination is occurring right now, but everybody's going to be on board with everything, right? And if I told you 20 years ago that people would be on board with 5-year-olds going to transgender camps, you would have probably shot me in the head. Now look what we're at, right? You questioned a 5-year-old going to a transgender camp or a 5-year-old questioning their gender. You're a hater. It's hate speech. Let them do what they want, right? Because they've been indoctrinated with, they've been brainwashed into thinking it's okay. That's what the media does. All of the things that the occult does and practices is going to be normal. Everyone's going to be on board. Like I said, this is all psychological. You know, the people out there who push the constant fear mongering, like the military is going to show up in your backyard with shotguns and blow you in the head, or blow you away in the head. That stuff's all nonsense. Everybody is going to be on board with this stuff. And those of us who aren't, that's when the FEMA camps and stuff come into play. Because they're going to show us off to the rest of the world and say, these are the people who are haters. These are the people who are causing problems and want war. And it's going to be the Christians who are persecuted. The Bible tells us this. Okay? This is all psychological. So they're preparing people because the rituals that people are eventually going to be performing with these Satanists, because these people are being led into, you know, they're already Satanists. They don't know it yet because they're living the do without wilt tolerance mindset, right? And it's under the umbrella of love, like I constantly say. Then you have Christians who just don't get it, who constantly put up videos and they're like, love, Jesus is love. Yes, Jesus is love, but don't you understand what they're doing? And they don't. And these people who have channels are irresponsible. And they're extremely stupid and shouldn't have channels because they're doing nothing but pushing new age by pushing love. They're pushing what they want because love and tolerance is blurring the lines into acceptance. And the acceptance is of this satanic regime that is being put in place. That's what's happening, right? Blurring the lines between love, right? Listen to how many people tell me I'm such a hateful person. I don't sound like a Christian. Meanwhile, I would give the shirt off my back to someone who needed it. I would. But just because I have a bit of a viperous tongue, which I'm not saying is a good thing, it makes people say, oh, he's not filled with love. Because to them, what love is tolerance and accepting. And that's the do without will mindset. And that's how this is all happening. So everybody's going to be on board with everything, right? And that includes pedophilia, right? Like I said, they're normalizing children, like, you know, looking at kids as, oh, you know, they're not really kids anymore. They're smarter than adults, right? That's why they have shows. Are you smarter than a fifth grader? The kids on the TV shows act smarter than the parents. That's all to normalize a younger age of pedophilia and, you know, and children and adults being together. And this all is heading towards everybody being on board with these rituals and performing these rituals. And this all happens, these rituals, they occur at 3 o'clock in the morning. And that's why these songs about 3 o'clock in the morning, these lyrics, and I could go through, if you look up 3 a.m. in lyrics, you'll find hundreds of songs by popular artists who talk about the time 3 o'clock in the morning, right? But common people won't question this. They'll just go, oh, okay. But why is it then? Why are we seeing repetition between all these videos on YouTube about 3 a.m.? Don't listen to this song at 3 a.m. 3 a.m. challenge, 3 a.m. this, 3 a.m. that. And then you get Eminem, 3 o'clock in the morning, you know, where he murders people. The follow-up video he just did, another video, right, that we saw. I covered it, framed, talking about how, you know, the murders at 3 o'clock in the morning. And people just don't get it. They go, oh, it's artistic. It's repetition is what it is. Because at 3 o'clock in the morning, it is Christians who are under spiritual attack because these rituals are occurring. And remember, it's 3 a.m. to mock the death of Jesus at 3 p.m. That is why they use it. You get your 33, which is their number, 33. So again, this is why you see these songs. And you could just look them up yourself. You can go through the list. You can look at the lyrics from Eminem to Meghan Trainor to people you might not know, to Matchbox 20, to, you know, people who are irrelevant now, to smaller bands like, you know, Leak Jack, Heartbreaker, 3 a.m., Krillick, 3 a.m., right? But you don't hear songs about 1:20 in the morning or, you know, anything else because it's repetition. All of this stuff is to prepare everybody to be on board with this. And I brought the word love into this because that's all I see Christian YouTubers talk about is love. And they don't, not only are a lot of these people who have come from the New Age into Christianity not understanding of Scripture. Personally, I don't believe a lot of them have the Holy Spirit with them, but that's not for me to decide. Because I don't listen to these people and care what they say. I read the Bible on my own, and when I have questions about things, I reach out to people, you know, and I seek fellowship with them. Okay, you know, I seek fellowship a lot with my father on a lot of questions that I have when I have questions about the Bible or understanding something in it. right? Because nobody understand, we all will always have questions about certain things. But love is one of those things. Do not be deceived by it, because it's a pacifist. It's not just a pacifist thing, I shouldn't say. It is a tolerance thing. And they take it and they go, Jesus, the heart of the Lord is mercy. Love thy neighbor as thyself, right? But don't fall into the trap of tolerance. Okay? Don't fall into the trap of being tolerant of our enemies. And when people go, well, you're supposed to love your enemy. You're supposed to love the pedophile. No, you're supposed to love the Satanist who's killing babies. You're supposed to just turn the other cheek. Those are people who don't understand and can't comprehend Scripture, and they're very dangerous. And there's a lot of people on here, specifically females, who have ministries on here. And I just say to myself, do they read the Bible where women aren't supposed to minister? But they seem to ignore that because they want to preach stuff that they learned in their New Age past that they've been on. Okay? So be very careful with this stuff, but understand that this repetition that you see from things such as 3 o'clock in the morning, right? Such as songs about magic, love, universal love, and New Ageism, all of this stuff. This is all in a massive indoctrination, which is leading to people eventually being fully on board with this stuff, which they will be through psychological operations, which are occurring on a minute-to-minute, second-by-second basis. Okay, so all these people, just like we always see the all-seeing eye, right? I always say, what do they all want to be, optometrists? Never seen so many people love an eyeball. I mean, I'm not a big fan of eyes. I mean, sure, some people have really pretty eyes. Girls have pretty eyes, I should say. But, I mean, are you obsessed with eyes? You painting eyes on putting tattoos of eyeballs on your back, pictures in your home? These people love eyeballs more than optometrists do. And at the same time, what can you say about 3 o'clock in the morning? All these musicians just happen to love 3 o'clock in the morning. They all want to talk about 3 o'clock in the morning. And it just so happens to be the well-known hour where occultists will tell you that is the hour they stay up chanting, going through rituals to become demonically possessed, to perform these rituals, these blood rituals at 3 o'clock in the morning. And you want to tell me it's a coincidence that Matchbox 20 and Eminem and whoever, any of these other, Simon and Garfunkel, all these massive musicians, and other musicians too who mention it in their lyrics, and all these people on YouTube who have all these videos about a Ouija board. They have these videos on YouTube that are pushed, these 3 a.m. challenges, because they want to indoctrinate children to try it. Oh, stay up till 3 a.m. and try this Ouija board challenge so you can become demonically possessed and you can start to get indoctrinated with the dark side. That's why they're there. That's why YouTube pushes it. Those videos don't get flagged. Of course they don't. And you got junkies that have 2 million subscribers who don't even know what they're doing or saying because they're under demonic possession and heroin at the same time, because they want children to be indoctrinated with this stuff. So that is why, if you're someone who's woken up at 3 in the morning or always, feel something at that time, if you're up, that is why. And the Satanists and the occultists, they all know that. They know it very well. And now you know to be forewarned. And that's why you're going to see 3 a.m. constantly pushed. I'm sure another musician will have a 3 a.m. song coming out pretty soon. Obviously, the Eminem one is the most well-known. But it could be 3 a.m. with something else mixed in, 3 o'clock in the love time or some ridiculous name. But that's why it's there. The repetition is always there when it comes to the occult. And all these things always connect back to these losers, because that's what they are. They're losers. And it's our job to make sure people are awake. Don't let your kids get involved in any of this 3 a.m. challenge crap. You be aware yourself. If you wake up, if something feels wrong, if you have a panic attack or anxiety, get into prayer. Because you're under spiritual attack. This is spiritual warfare. It's always going on. And they're always coming after us. That's why it's important for Christians not to get distracted by the nonsense distractions of this world. Because they're always focused on coming after us. They want this new world order in place. This is their job as Satanists, Luciferians, whatever you want to call them. Their job is to put this in place. Okay? And to lead everyone astray to worshiping Lucifer. Now, most of these people won't realize it until it's too late, because, that's the pathetic thing, like I always say about Lucifer, right? Even his own followers won't openly admit it, but they think that they are because they're calling him God, because they all know the big secret that they refer to him as God, that he's really God, is their perception that they have. But if I was Lucifer, I'd be pretty pissed off, All these people that follow him won't even mention his name because they're too embarrassed to mention his name. And the same goes for, these other things that they do. They're tricking everybody, right? They're tricking everybody into this through all of these deceptions. That's why, the Bible speaks of the great deception. People always say, well, what is the great deception? Well, you're pretty much living in the great deception. The entire world is a lie. Everything going on is a lie. And all they're doing day after day, minute after minute, is indoctrinating everybody with the occult, and nobody realizes it, that they're being deceived. And people are just inadvertently becoming atheists, not realizing that, by being an atheist, they're pretty much technically, they're Luciferian in a sense, because it's the same doctrine, the evolution and all this stuff, even though, the real Luciferians know that God exists and they hate him, but they know they had to concoct this gigantic deception to get people to lead him, to worshiping Lucifer. Otherwise, if things were the way they were 200 years ago, these people would be getting, they'd be getting hung. I mean, what do you think would be happening? They're getting burned at the stake. Now look, you even say stuff like that. It's like, oh my gosh, what kind of Christian are you for saying something like that? Well, why don't you go back 300 years ago and tell that to Christians who were, living by the word fully, not distracted by the nonsense of the world, didn't care about, they weren't narcissists, caring about how they looked and all this stuff. They cared about God. And when they saw people performing witchcraft and stuff like that, that's how they were handling it. And now instead of it, it's like, even as a Christian as myself, Christians hate me or call me out, even for saying that these people should be locked up. They're like, that's not right. I mean, look how soft they've made society and how weak they've made them. And that's what they want. 1984 talks about it, right? I mean, we live at the society we're in now is so weak and so watered down. That is how they get all of this stuff to come across and to be pushed in and to be accepted. So again, 3:00 in the morning, that's why you always hear about it. I wanted to just do a video so if you weren't aware, this is why it's being pushed, and it's going to be pushed more and more in the future. I thank you for listening to today's show. God bless all of you and your families.